So, Jeremy Corbyn, you've got a chance to have a cup of tea now that you've done your speech, which was an excellent speech. Thank you very much. It's great to have you here. First, I wanted to ask you, what is it like being the leader of the Labour Party in such extraordinary times? Did you ever see that you would ever be the leader many years ago when we last met?
No, life throws up very interesting challenges and opportunities, and when I decided to put my name in the hat in May 2015, I was then a 200 to 1 outsider on being elected leader of the party, and then by September that had changed, and I was elected with a very big mandate. It's a huge responsibility. Yes, of course, life's changed a lot, and but you have to remember why you're here, who you're here for, and what you do. And so the only arguments in my office are always about my diary, where I go, what I do, who I see, and how I spend my time. So I'm very determined, and I do spend a decent amount of time doing work in my constituency. I love my constituency, I love the people I represent. I've represented them for more than 3 decades, and that is also an important point of being grounded in reality. And I travel around the country a great deal, and I enjoy that. I enjoy meeting people from all kinds of communities, all sorts of approaches and attitudes. That is fantastic, but it also gives the opportunity to raise crucial issues. Why is our society unequal? Why is it so divided? And never forget our responsibility to speak up for the people whose voices are being silenced by a self-serving media and a self-serving establishment.
So I know from reading the writings of Tony Blair that even he said that going into the Westminster chamber at 5 to 12 before Prime Minister's question time, he felt a level of anxiety. And of course he was Prime Minister and not leader of the opposition, but I just was curious to know how you feel.
Prime Minister's question time is the most peculiar setup anywhere in the world, and you can never totally predict what's going to happen. We try to raise a specific issue or series of issues at each Prime Minister's question time, and also most weeks I bring up some questions that have been sent in by members of the public. We get a very large number sent in and we look through them and try and find something. And the one I raised 2 weeks ago about a child that was left on plastic chairs in a hospital because there was no trolley. I then spoke to the baby's mum the next day and his auntie, and it was great. And it was good to raise it, but good to have that human contact. So you've got to remember what Prime Minister's Question Time is about. In the past, there's always been parliamentary theatre. Well, I don't do theatre. I'm not an actor. I'm not into that sort of repartee. As far as I'm concerned, we're there for a serious purpose and a serious reason, and I try to treat it in that way. Where he's right is that there's a sort of massive attention and pressure on you, and the first Prime Minister's Question Time I did, I came in, sat down, looked around. The chamber was totally packed. The gallery was totally packed. It isn't usually, even the press gallery was totally packed. Wow. How many of these people actually wish me well? And I thought, not that many. But then I thought, hang on, there's a lot of people watching. And so what I always do is think of how we relate to people. So I have in my mind people in a cafe on the high street here in Glasgow and Holloway Road in my constituency. Mm-hmm. What do they make of it? You've got to use language that people can understand and relate to. Never get too far away from yourself. Don't get above yourself.
So we share a passion on the Palestinian cause, and that's over which we last met. I was pleased to see that in your speech you did put a call out to the new US President Donald Trump not to commit to the promise to move the United States Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Have you any feelings or any hopes that there will be some developments in the Palestinian cause in the years to come?
I hope they don't move the embassy, because the whole principle has been that Jerusalem should be an international city. Jerusalem should not be taken in that way, and I think moving the American embassy would be a very bad message, and I hope that wiser counsels prevail and President Trump's administration doesn't do that. But there's also the issue of the settlements. The settlements have to stop. You cannot have any prospect of an independent, recognised Palestinian state functioning properly while you have 600,000 people put into settlements there. I've been, like you have, in Israel, in Palestine, both West Bank and Gaza, as well as the refugee camps, many times. Let's search for peace. And I had a good meeting the other day with President Abbas's ambassador to Britain, Manuel Hassassian, and we had a good discussion about this. And so I've also met the Israeli ambassador and many others on this. We want peace, we want justice, we want the Palestinian people to have their right to their own state.